But I wear a size 7? By Screech32210. Today this lady asks for help in shoes, so I walk back to the shoe department with her. The entire time, she's complaining because the shoe person wasn't back there. I apologize and go about asking her what I can help her with. Once again, she informs me of how upset she is that she had to ask for help. So I apologize again and ask what she needs. Finally, she grabs a sandal from the wall and tells me she needs a size 7. I fetch the size 7, remove the cardboard insert and hand it to her. She can barely squeeze her foot in, even with the straps completely loosened. Wanna try a 71/2 or an 8? No, I wear a 7. Okay. But that's not fitting very well. Your heel is hanging a ½ inch off the back of the shoe. Looks like you should try sizing up, maybe a full size. I'll grab an 8 for you. But I wear a 7? If it doesn't fit, it just doesn't fit. But an 8 will fit, just try it. She literally refused to try the 8. When I came back from the stock room she informed me that she would be trying a different store. I'm still so shocked at how ignorant. People paying with checks by Atlantics. I worked at a home decor store that didn't take checks. This was a problem because a lot of businesses, wedding planners, etc., and almost every old person out there still used them, and rarely had another payment method on hand. For reference, this company never accepted them. One day, I had a lady who refused to believe we didn't accept them. She was about 70, and the conversation goes as follows: "Old equals old lady." Me: "I'm sorry, ma'am, we don't accept checks." "Oh, yes you do." Me: "No we don't." "Oh well, who doesn't take checks anymore?" "What do you mean you don't take them?" Me: "It's becoming more common, and we don't have a way to process them, because we don't accept them." "Oh, here. Take this check, I'm trying to pay." Throws check at me. Me: "Again, we don't take checks." Turns me screen to her to show payment methods. "Oh, well, humph. Why don't you just put it through that thing?" Me: "Because that's the receipt printer." "Oh, what about sliding it through there?" Me: "You can't swipe a check through a credit/debit card slip. We can take any other form of payment." "Oh, I don't do anything other than checks." She leaves the card and walks out. Yes, I did have fun spending 30 minutes putting away all her stuff. Gimme free stuff by Lunar Peach. So I'm not sure if this subreddit is for strictly retail, but I work at a store that sells ice cream. Today I had a woman come in and order a pretty large decadent ice cream with a waffle bowl cone. 5 minutes pass after I rung her up, and she's sitting at a table in the store. Suddenly, some commotion happened. I need new glasses so I couldn't really see across the store, and she comes up to the counter. Apparently, she dropped her ice cream onto the floor. She says to me, demanding I dropped my ice cream, "I need another ice cream." Since I didn't really see what happened, and saw her ice cream looking quite unruffled on the table, just the cone had broken, I asked her if she wanted a bowl to put it in. She said no, she needs a new ice cream because this one has fell on the floor. Again, demanding me. I should also mention there were only drops of ice cream left on the floor. I don't think it ever touched the ground. But perhaps she had cleaned it with some napkins before I came over. So I go back and ask my crew leader if this is possible, and she reluctantly agrees I can make the ice cream. She looks very annoyed that it also includes a cone. So I think to myself, I will just remake her custom ice cream and it should be good. It's free. I make the ice cream and set it on the counter and the lady just stares at it angrily, only saying she needs a cone and will pay extra. I'm thinking to myself, sure you will. I set a cone next to the cup of ice cream and turn away and she leaves with both. So much for paying extra. Getting insulted by customer #Savage Edition by Lucas 5 Skywalker. So I've been working in a supermarket. I was quite exhausted and on edge. The usual stuff, you know, people not greeting you back, being rude. You get the spirit. I was talking to customers and one of them was my colleague's mother. I have not checked for on the length of the line people are standing in for like 30 seconds. And angry customers yells from the back of the line, "Yus ho uld really open up and no thrceck out cunt'er. But you are way too busy for that, aren't you?" I got quite angry but kept a straight face and reached for the mic to call for another colleague to open a checkout. This moment it struck me, I was way too busy to do that. That's what he just said, right? So I let go of the mic and continued with scanning the items. His face got quite red. Some customers asked him to step in front of them so he would not have to wait that long. The second he got to the cash register, I looked him dead in the eyes, reached out for the mic and called for a colleague to open Aneth at checkout. He, angry as fuck, started yelling at me. He insulted me and said something along the lines of, "So this is how you're going to build confidence?" Gives me a disgusted top-down look, as a simple cashier at, insert company's name. This second my colleague's mom, who I've been taking to, snapped. She screamed at him, "How dare you be so impolite?" I continued scanning the items, minding my own business. Long story short, I just did what he suggested. He got angry and got yelled at by another customer. That's a win in my books. Don't FCK with me, smiley face, I will be idiot too. But in a way no one can report me to the manager. Coupons are given at the end and only at the end. By Pueblo. I'm a part-time cashier at your local grocery store where shopping is a pleasure. An old couple enter my register. I say my usual greetings, but the woman walks right past me with a few bags in tow and nudges the bagger aside. "Woman, move. I got this." The bagger, who doesn't understand English very well and thinks the customer just wanted to help out, steps over and grabs another bag to fill up with items. No, grabs their arm. I said I got it. She yanks the bag away from them and aggressively shakes out the 2 items onto the counter. This is where my patience for this customer runs thin. While scanning, I notice the husband, unfazed by his wife's behavior, holding onto some coupons and a gift card. I politely ask to see them and he hands them over. Honey. Why would you do that? You are supposed to wait till she's done. Husband doesn't say anything. Turns to me, "Why do you need them now? You're supposed to wait until you're finished." Me, confused as to why she's getting mad, "I'm sorry?" I've never seen a cashier do this before. Me, "Well ma'am, I'm just ensuring that you have the correct items. Usually, people grab the wrong size, so they have to dig." If I didn't have the right item, then I wouldn't have given you the coupons in the first place. At that point, I didn't press the matter further. Obviously, she wasn't willing to listen. So, I continued scanning her items. Sure enough, 2 of the item was not eligible for the 2 coupons she gave me, and as store policy says, I don't apply the deal. I process the transaction. She glares at me, yanks the receipt from the machine, and walks away with the poor mute husband in tow. The next customer and I exchange a look. She told me I was doing a great job and hoped the rest of my day went well without any cranky old hoots. They got what they wanted by spooky knees. I work at a bakery where we make bread and cakes. That's the 2 sides. I work on the bread side packaging the bread and desserts. There is also the cake side where cakes are made for customers and such. Well, yesterday it was pretty close to closing time and the cake decorator finally got to go take his lunch after a long day. I'm still packaging up some leftover desserts when a lady comes up with a cake she had picked up earlier. I remember because I gave her the cake and nothing seemed wrong with it at the time. I see her, so I start to ask if there's anything I can help her with, and she cut me off and started yelling that her cake is messed up and that she didn't like what was written on it. "You told us what you wanted written on it," and she wanted a new cake made in cupcakes. I was shocked that she would just start yelling at me like that and demanding things. But still I remained calm and told her it would be about a 40 minutes wait, seeing as the cake decorator just went on lunch. And I also told her that he could probably fix what was written but not make a new cake and cupcakes because we were about to close and it had been a long day. She demanded I make the cake and cupcakes and I informed her that I am not a decorator, so she would have to wait. This made her super urinated off. She said she wasn't going to wait 40 minutes and she had somewhere to be. And I said that making a new cake and cupcakes would take more than 40 minutes and that I would call the manager to see what we could do. She replied, "You better call a manager, you are blind." That made me pretty upset. Just because your cake is messed up doesn't mean you can say that to me and insult my intelligence. None of this is my fault. I just package food and sometimes help customers. But whatever, my manager will stick up for me, right? So I call him on the phone and he said he'll be there in a few moments. I turn around and that lady's friend is now with her and she looks like the typical "let me speak to the manager" mom, and she has her son in the cart. She immediately starts going off on me about how I messed up her cake and that her friend gets whatever she wants and I obviously don't know how to do my job and blah blah blah. I just sit there and look at her until she's done and calmly say, "I called the manager, he is on his way. I'm sorry you were upset about the cake, but none of it is my fault, so if you could calmly wait for the manager, I'm sure he can assist you better than I can." And then they started going off on me again. That poor kid in the cart. At this point I'm over it and just ignore it and continue my job. Not even a minute later they start accusing me of not calling the manager and to actually call him and stop wasting their time. You are wasting my freaking time and insulting me in the process. I just assured them I called the manager and he would be here soon. Finally he shows up and they start telling him what's wrong and what they wanted, or they were going to call corporate. And I figured he would stand up for me or call the cops or something. Nope, he called the cake decorator from his lunch that he earned from a long day of work. Made him remake a cake and cupcakes, which took about an hour. Yet they didn't have time to wait and they had somewhere to be? So we ended up going home super late. The ladies got $70 in merchandise for free and left. My manager didn't say a word to me or ask if I was okay, even after I told him what they said and how they treated me.